Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Meat here. Today we're going to continue our quest with Dorraj, our Sword Saint, and his two assistants, our Triumvirate. We have expanded the team now to a full team of 6. That is simply because I got the levels that I want, baby, and that's all that matters. I'm actually at level 15 right now, thanks to some cheese-in moves, which you probably saw in the past couple videos. Highly recommend you do this. From here, I've turned back on the XP share, so everyone's getting the same XP, and I even shut off the part where XP only goes to the person who did the check. So everybody gets XP at this point, whether they're on the team or not, so everyone's going to start leveling. I still maintain I'll happily get to level 20 way before I should, and that's all that matters. For those of you that have never played this game before, know that I am using mods. Notice a couple of that are really going to stick out are the turn-based combat. Highly recommended, more pen and paper, familiar this way. And it's a lot easier to control the tide of battle. It does take longer, but I don't care. Eldritch Arcana, so if you actually see some spells, traits, abilities that I have in my builds that you don't, chances are this is where it came from. A couple other things is like the remove area effects, where you literally have like a stinking cloud, a grease spell down, and then after the fight's over you want it gone, press L and poof, they all just disappear. Very, very helpful. From here, also notice we have the Bag of Tricks. Now this is a cheat mod, so to speak. I did use it at the very beginning of this playthrough. Feel free to watch video 1 to see why. Part of my thematic story, makes sense to me, and therefore I wanted it. So I literally gifted my main character every scroll that he could possibly cast for level 1, and 1 scroll from level 2. He scribed them all into his books, and then he was done. So he literally had everything he needed to get going, so to speak. And then again, I had thematic reasons for that. I can show you some stuff, and that's when we actually get into the game. Matter of fact, let's actually do that real quick. For those of you that haven't been keeping up on all the videos, this is a good chance for you to see what Bag of Tricks can actually do for you. A couple of the things that really stuck out to me that I haven't even remotely touched on all the possibilities. As you'll see here in a moment when we open it up, there's a lot that you can do with Bag of Tricks. One of the more common things is to gift yourself items, as I have previously done. I gave myself all those scrolls for level 1 and that one for level 2. You can even do so with weapons, armor, items that you missed, quest items that you missed for whatever reason. And I'm not saying that that's something you should do, but I'm not going to tell you how to play your game. Bag of Tricks, you open it up, press Control F10, it was my default, and it opens all this stuff. So notice we can adjust things like the carrying capacity, the encumbrance of the team. We can mess with character creation, experience, gift ourselves XP, which I have done specifically so I could give my team a level 1 to level 20 experience, so we could feel or see what a character has available by level 20, feel how they're going to play out. To do that, what you would do is you'd open up the part here that says literally character creation, progression, and experience. This little button here, click that, scroll down, and you'll see party experience. If they're on the party, you delete that one, highlight it. I'm not going to do it, but delete that one, turn it into 3, 6, and 5 zeros, 3, 6, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then press, this number will change here, as you'll see. So instead of saying +1, it'll say +36, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Click every character that you want from level 1 to go to level 20. So you do that, and they'll be level 20 for XP. You can now level them up easily. Extremely valuable. Other stuff we can do with this mod that, again, I haven't touched everything. You can instant rest. Right here, just press this button and poof, everybody has all their stuff back. Kind of nice, but again, cheesing it. But I do that again when I get to level 20. When I force level everyone to 20, I want to do an instant rest, so everybody has all their spells, rested up and learned, and their abilities fully charged, so I can really get a feel for what they're capable of. There's other stuff we can do here. I don't really know what this does as far as the vendors is concerned, but again, plenty of stuff to do with here. There's ways to change your mercenary units, which I have done. That's the other cheat that I have done at the very beginning. I've set it where the mercenaries that you hire normally set on a plus 20 point buy, whereas your main character is a plus 25 point buy. That just seemed weird to me. Everybody should be the same, and I know I have teammates that they give you that have way more than 25 points invested in them, which I think is complete bull honky. I'm the main character. How the hell have they got more than me? But whatever, we're not going to quibble about that. But what we will do is set the mercenaries to 25 point buy so that they're just as good as I am. And I'm fine with that. And again, that's just a personal decision. The most important things people are probably interested in is probably stuff like this. Items and equipment. This is the way you gift yourself stuff. Notice that we have a search engine down here. If you highlight these 4 categories and open the enable the filters, this is all the stuff that can possibly drop the different categories. And now notice this includes things like keys, notes, miscellaneous items, and usually these things are straight up garbage and you don't care about them unless you literally lost one somehow, sold it, can't find it, know the name of the key. You can actually search for it and gift it to yourself so you get it back. But other than that, basically, you're never going to touch those 3, so I usually just shut those straight away off. From there, everything else is stuff you can wear or stuff you can use. You know, again, like potions are in here, scrolls are in here, wands are in here, stuff like that. And again, if you want to search for something, type it in here. Let's say we're looking for the awesome potion that I'm hoping that will be gifted to me from Bakken. He's one of my artisans. This is his master work. Every artisan has a master work. If you do enough things to kiss their ass and enough stuff to literally make them happy, eventually they'll just bring you a gift. Just like, you know, I've toiled and told, and here's my greatest work. You can have it. And they just chuck it to you, basically. They'll only make it once, and here it is. This thing is awesome. This is the one that literally, whoever drinks it, they get a permanent +2 to every ability score. So that's strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Boom. Across the board, a +2 to everything. That's pretty nice. I'm just saying. That's a really nice thing, and it's stacked with so many other things that it's really, really cool that they give that to you. So I've kind of dug that. Again, you can gift this to yourself. I'm not going to. There's other things in the game that I don't think are in the game. For instance, these manuals and these tomes. Notice what these are. These are literally like they sound. A book. This is actually pen and paper type stuff we're talking about now. Books in the game, that are in the pen and paper version of the game, where literally if you, as the person who finds this tome, reads it from cover to cover, you suddenly figure out how to be healthier and therefore get a +2 to your con or your strength or your dex, depending on which book you read. Same with your intelligence, your wisdom, and your charisma. Again, another way to basically do what his potion did, but different. And again, because these are inherent bonuses, I think, yeah, they should not stack with Bakken's potion. So there's that. So you can't double up on this stuff and get yourself like a +4 across the board. But also know this. I don't think these actually exist in the game. I may be wrong. I think the modder that made Bags of Tricks decided that it should be in the game because, again, it's part of the pen and paper game. So, again, you will see things in here that's like, oh, well, here you go. And they just gave it to you here so you could literally gift it to yourself. But, again, I'm not doing that. You can do what you want. Another quick example of stuff that I like to do is I like to look for things. Like maybe I'm looking for gear ahead of time. Let's see. I have an intelligence-based character. And I want to know that there's stuff out there that can increase my intelligence. So I'll type intelligence in the search engine for all this stuff that we could possibly wear. Notice it'll also include a variety of other things. So we have amulets. This is a weird one right here. This is a profane. That's important because profane things don't stack with each other. Profane penalty to strength, dex, and con, but a profane bonus to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So again, makes you old basically. Hence the name, the amulet of dying wisdom. Makes you weak and frail, but it also increases your other stats. But it doesn't, it's not a 1-for-1 transfer, it's a 3-to-2 transfer, so it's a really kind of screw you thing. But if you have plenty of strength, dex, and con, and you don't mind them being a little lower, maybe you made it your build where everything ends on an odd number, right? Remember that 13 strength doesn't do you a whole lot of good compared to a 12 or a 14, right? So again, losing an extra point, ooh, big deal. So again, if everything ends on an odd number for your strength, dex, and con, this might be something you would consider wearing, especially if you're going to be a caster type who benefits from the high intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. So that's kind of cool. There's robes, of course. These are things that literally buff wisdom, buff intelligence, buff charisma, depending on which one we're talking about. The Dark Master robes are charisma and intelligence. Yeah, nice solid +8, no less. So again, you can kind of plan your build in advance. Know that it's out there, and maybe even look up online to find out where it drops so you don't have to gift it to yourself to be a cheesy little punk. There's, again, a variety of things you can pick from this, but notice some other stuff. Like, if I look at it, notice how it usually tells you the type of bonus. It's an enhancement. That's like the enhancement that you get from magical hats, so they don't stack. Again, there are the headbands here. Again, they're enhancement bonuses to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. A solid +6 to all 3. They don't stack with other enhancements, whichever is the highest. Notice I have already acquired this one. The Hat of Mental Perfection. This is the one I always tout and swear by. for your main character. A solid +8 to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Boom. All you gotta do is put this hat on, never take it off, and you're gonna have huge, huge stats for those 3 abilities. And of course, there's a belt just like it, but for the physical stats. So +8 to strength, +8 to dex, +8 to con. Adds an enhancement. Again, awesome, right? Now watch one other thing here. Can I find it in here? It's not showing it to me. Oh, here it is. Staff of the Whispering Souls. This is a weapon, quarterstaff. Notice it's a +2 quarterstaff, so it's not the best staff ever. But notice it is a profane intelligence bonus +4. And only evil creatures can use it. Again, it's kind of, yeah, cool, I guess. It does other stuff, by the way. It's not telling you all the stuff that it can do in here. If you literally gift it to yourself, you can see that. I think it has other stuff that it can do. But this profane, again, this is just something that doesn't stack with other profane buffs. So obviously it wouldn't be good with that necklace we saw way the hell up here, this amulet. But it doesn't give you a -3 to strength, dex, and con either, right? So if you're an intelligence caster, like say an evil wizard, this could be a cool ass weapon for you to always have in your hand. Why? +4 to your intelligence means what, guys? That's more spell slots per day. That's also a higher DC check for your spells. So assuming you want your spells to land, here you go, baby. If you made a quarterstaff saint, pardon the pun, instead of a sword saint, and where quarterstaff was your chosen weapon, I would make an evil sword saint specifically so I to use this character on this quarterstaff. Why? Because I can have more intelligence. Remember what my intelligence gives me as a sword saint. More intelligence means more initiative. More intelligence means more damage to flat-footed, eventually. I mean, we're talking the whole build from 1 to 20. I get more armor from more intelligence. I get more initiative, more damage, and something else I'm missing in there. Oh yeah, more attacks of opportunity. So there's all kinds of crap that you get handed to you from just having more intelligence. And again, the best I can get is 24 in my current build. Then with gear, I can take 24 to 32 with a nice hat, which I have. And then from 32, I can take it to 34 with Bakken's Potion. And then there's a ring out there that will buff your intelligence if you so choose, called the Ring of Circumstances. That's this little doohickey right here. It can buff any of your stats +2, and it's a circumstance bonus, so it stacks. So again, I can take that 32 to a 34 to a 36. That's the highest I can make my purist sword saint. Now, could I make it higher than that? Yes. If you didn't go purist, if you said 18 levels of sword saint, 2 levels of, say, vivisectionist or alchemist of some kind, at level 2 you can get the cognitogen. That's the opposite of the mutagen. That allows you to drink that and buff one of your mental stats +4. So then again, that's an alchemical buff, which stacks with all these enhancements and these profane buffs that we're talking about. So yeah, I could take that to a solid, 36 to a 40. If I'm wielding this quarterstaff and doing the same kind of thing, I could take that 40 to a 44. As far as I know, that's the highest you can make your intelligence in this game. 44. Now think about what that gave you as a sword saint. Remember? That's the goal here, 44. So take away 10, 44 becomes 34. Divide 34 by 2. That's how much bonus you're getting. So instead of a 15, that's a +17 bonus. And remember, you can get armor, dodge, armor class, called canny defense, from being a sword saint so long as it equals or doesn't exceed the intelligence bonus that you have. Whichever is the lowest is what you're going to get. Well, we just had an intelligence of 17, and yeah, I just told you how to make a level 18 sword saint. So 17 is the lowest. I could have 17 extra dodge armor on that build. See what I'm saying? That's pretty damn potent. And that's just from having gear. And yes, you're going to want that gear. And of course, there's better gear than that out there. You know, stuff for your dexterity and etc. and so forth. But that's 17 from one stat alone. And that's 17 also to your damage for targets that are flat-footed. Show me a tune that gets to do stuff like that with nothing more than some intelligence. And then we have from there, you'll add your strength modifier or your dex modifier, depending on what type of weapons we're talking about. But since it's a quarterstaff that you'll probably be wielding, that we're talking strength, so bump your strength up through the roof, turn on power attack, and go to town, baby. You will do some serious damage with this build. It's a little weird. You have to damn near marry this specific weapon once it finally shows up, which is probably late in the game. But whatevs. If you really wanted to be uber, the highest intelligence smarty pants of the whole group, this is your way of doing it. And again, I kind of dig metagaming this way. Once I found this out, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Notice, not only do we have intelligence, but that ring of circumstances, this is one that you can buy at Pitax, which is why you want to save your money, in my opinion, because this is amazeballs. You get to activate this ring And any of these bonuses that you see here, you can activate up to 4 once a day. That you get basically just turn it on, and this is what you're going to get. So when you take a knee, get back up, turn on your strength, your dex, and your con, and your intelligence, and you have a +2 to each of those things. Or maybe you only care about dex and intelligence, let's say. Okay, buff both of those so you have best armor. Notice we also have an armor bonus here, and it's a circumstance bonus, which means it'll stack with all the other stuff we just talked about. I can increase my damage, I can increase my skill checks, I can increase my ground speed, or my DC checks of my spells and spell-like abilities. Again, a wizard's dream here is the Ring of Circumstance, in my opinion. That's not to say that a fighter or barbarian wouldn't love to have extra strength, dex, and con, and weapon damage or whatever, but it's not the point. It's whatever you want. You just turn it on, and again, it's reusable. So every day you decide that this didn't work for you. Maybe you picked the wrong combo. Oh, I really need strength and dex today. So boom, click on both of those and turn on your saving throw bonuses and charisma, because you want to do some, I don't know, some extra lovey-dovey stuff with one of your characters. Again, this is why I love this ring. Notice again, categories: profane versus circumstance bonus. But what are the different categories? I've only found a few. Profane is one. As you can see, we got 3 different things. Scroll of Profane Nimbus. Obviously, that's why it's lighting up with the search engine. So it's not what we're talking about here. The Amulet of Dying Wisdom is one. And the Staff of Whispering Souls is the other. Now, there may be more. Maybe I'm just not catching it. Sometimes there's mistakes that happen with the search engine. It doesn't work beautifully. But another one besides Profane is, I want to say Divine, if I can spell it. So we have Zavern's Cross. No. Plus the defense. That's Divine Power. It's a good way to look for spells, by the way, if you want something that gives you a spell. Blessed Signet. No, that's just Bless. Divine Intervention, obviously in the name. Remnant. Here's Divine Damage with a weapon. That's awesome. That's not looking like it's showing up based on that. So it's not Divine. Okay, if it's not Profane and not Divine, what's the other category outside of Profane? Profane's the evil. Obviously, I'm looking for the good side. And for the love of God, I can't think of the name. I know Inherent. No, Innate. Is it Innate? No, it is Inherent. Inherent is in here, and it's because of Inherent that I'm actually going for a Sword Saint with a longsword, because of this Inherent bonus. This is my masterwork weapon I'm hoping to have made for me. It is a +5 longsword, +2 Inherent bonus to armor class, so it'll stack with all my other different armor classes, +2 to all my saving throws, so it'll stack with my resistance cloak of +5, +6, or whatever else I'm wearing for saving throws, +2 to all my attack rolls, no matter what weapon I'm using, so long as that longsword's in my hand. And I believe that this will also buff my offhand weapon, like the dagger that I just equipped today, and a +2 to all my skill checks. And again, it should stack, because again, it's an Inherent bonus, so that's a lot in one weapon, and it is awesome. So I'm happy to shoot for that. Notice Bakken's Potion is an Inherent bonus to the ability score, same with the manual and the tomes. That's how I found these things in the first place. Dead Man's Hat. Increase the DC checks of necromancy spells. This one actually is a hat that turns you into an undead creature. I don't know that this one exists in the game. This could be something that they just added as a modder, but it's pretty baller. But notice that they have health is calculated based on charisma, like our undead teammate, and all the immunities inherent to the undead. That's why Inherent is flagged for this one. The Giant Slayer's class as an Inherent dodge bonus, that doesn't matter because all dodge bonuses stack. But again, if you want to look for stuff like that, you can. If it's not Inherent, enhance, type, enhancement. Notice that it will never do more than 100, so you have to start limiting yourself. Delete these things. Usually I do like row by row. Let's just do this row here, go through the list, see which ones I find that can be enhancements, like the Cloak of Shadows, an enhancement bonus to stealth. How about the Extra Planar Cloak? That's an enhancement bonus to con. Will not stack with the enhancement bonus from your belt or from Bear's Endurance to spell. Whichever is the highest is the one that it gives you. But again, this is a way for you to work around your build and say, oh, I have a spare cloak slot. I don't really care about saving throws, let's say, because maybe I'm a paladin. And as a paladin, you have a high charisma stat, which is all I really give a damn about. Strength and charisma, maybe enough wisdom to do some stuff. And I'm basically going to tear through it. Fine. Well, I would like to get my con up too so I can take a beating, but I don't necessarily need my belt to be the strength dex con belt, the one that's awesome, because again, it's not common to find it in the game. So maybe the extra planar cloak would be good enough for you. Well, then I'm giving up my cloak of resistance +4, +5, +6, or whatever that's out there. Okay, but again, as a paladin, you have the high charisma. Your charisma stat bonus is added at like level 2 even to all your saving throws, to your fortitude, your reflex, and your will saves. That's why a high charisma strength build for a paladin is just uber, because you can just like tank anything, well, beat the hell out of anything and survive all kinds of spells. It's amazeballs. But this again, well then if I don't care about the resistance cloak, here we go. Got some con bonus, and I get a kick-ass spell, right? You can do the Thaumaturge's Cloak. This one's a bonus to Charisma, enhancement bonus. It's not much, but it's a bonus to Knowledge World and Knowledge Arcana. Again, this is how I use the mod to actually check for stuff. I can gift it to myself also. Again, when I make my Pie in the Sky Dreaming builds, I usually make it level 20, force level it to 20 in the Tenebris Depths usually, in the DLC version, the Infinite Dungeon version. Make it a solo character, level it up, make sure I'm happy with all the spell picks and the feat picks, and everything falls into place, write it down on a nice piece of paper, and then I say, okay, what kind of gear would I try to trick this dude out with? Boom, 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 here's a couple rings, here's a nice bracers, here's your necklace, da-da-da-da-da. Is anything missing? Oh, damn it, I forgot to put a nice cloak on the character. What kind of cloaks do we have? And again, you can search by cloak. You can search by the name of a weapon. You can search by, for example, scimitars. I gave this example before. Scimitars are awesome. There's plenty in the game. And as a magus, scimitars are usually a solid pick. High crit range, especially a strength-based magus. They're high crit range. They have really cool abilities. Fine example is, was it Slicer? Notice anything that has the scimitar has numerous runes, some of which have no magic in them. This is the one. It's called a runic mage blade, I think is what it's called. You'll see that description officially, not just this, on the weapon. What that means is any magus, sword saint, eldritch scion, even eldritch archer, I think would work. They wield this weapon, and that they charge their melee. Well, actually, it wouldn't work for the eldritch archer because they can't do this, but everyone else can. They charge their melee touch attack, like even the cantrip, through the weapon. Normally, it's a -2 penalty to your swing after that, right? The runic mage blade takes the spell, still delivers the spell like normal, and gives you another +2 bonus, so it neuters that -2 penalty. So the runic mage blades are awesome, and the only runic mage blades out there are scimitars, if I'm not mistaken. I think Thundercrack is another one. It's like one of the best ones. Jolt, I think, is another one too. So again, there's a lot of really good ones in here. Divine Intervention one? No, but it's a baller one. And again, while you may think this is every scimitar under the sun, it is not. There's one that's not called a scimitar. It is called a cutlass. I mentioned this in the past. It is still treated as a scimitar, but it is officially called a cutlass. So this one, again, is a pretty solid cutlass. So again, look through. Don't think you're going to learn everything you need to learn this way, but it's a good way to start piddling around and checking for stuff. So again, I commonly do this, and again, I don't usually check for notes or keys because I don't care. Those are usually if you've lost something and you need to find it. But another example of stuff that I would check for, like, like I'll say per day. See if that shows up. Yeah, see that? 203 results. What does that mean? Usually I'm looking for something that gives a spell effect per day, right? Where it literally, good lord, look at all the ones. Weapons and wrist items. So let's just check wrist items. These wrist items give you a per day effect. Now they may be a spell, they may be like a toggle. Gears Rule, Charon's Touch is a fine example. Cast Harm spell once per day, and Greater False Life twice per day. Basically, this is a way for me to find spells. Another way to check for spells, especially if you want to know that it's spells and not just like toggles, cast. Look for something that says cast, because usually if it says cast, that means you are casting something. Cast the shield spell, cast the whatever. So again, cast harm per day. And again, you can check it for a variety of other things, for weapon categories. And again, I've done this before for a fighter build, for instance, where I was curious if I could make a fighter that has spells by default because of his weapons, because of his gear. I know it sounds weird, but I hate being a fighter that basically gets shown up by his teammates. You're going through, yes, you'll do damage, and yes, you'll be awesome, and yes, you'll have armor, but don't you want to be able to cast a spell every now and again? Not a bunch. You know, if you take all the gear that I put on my fighter that I whipped up that one day just because I was bored and was curious what I could do with him, he was like immune to acid or real close to it, like a 30 DR against acid, or damage reduction against acid. He could cast like acid fog like once or twice a day thanks to his armor. He could cast a couple other spells from his sword, a spell effect, at will effect, which means literally every combat round he can cast that spell. Poof, just because it's built into his weapon. Now, obviously, he doesn't get to swing with his weapon, but if you really, all you need to do is shoot that guy way the hell over there, and your sword gives you Divine Light, I think was the name of the spell? Searing Light. And it could just literally burn them out of the tree, doing 10d6 of damage. Pew! Like a ray spell. That's all it is a ray spell. Bam! Fires off beautifully. And it's better against undead. Even does a little bit of damage against constructs. Again, this is how I built that character. After everything was said and done, he was summoning pets, and he was, had acid fog, and he was immune to all kinds of crap, and he was actually pretty cool for a straight-up, quote-unquote, fighter. So, you can have a lot of fun with the Bag of Tricks mod just to check stuff out, even if you don't gift stuff to you. Now, let's get to the game, though, shall we? That's what you're here for. Let's take a quick gander. We are back here in our base, but we came back, and I think we're done here. We're leaving now. So, wait for the Sweet Teeth to come back. Onslaught armor's been delivered. Ancient Curse got plenty of time. We're waiting for Nazriel to give us our quest. I don't know what's going on with that. And like I said, I'm fairly certain that doofus is supposed to be here. It's not showing up, so I think what we got now is we got time to kick around in our kingdom, which again is fine with me. And there is somewhere where I think we need to go. We are missing a broken staff as part of a quest item. All 5 of those items tells us a story. That's an XP boost for the whole team and some fat loot from the storyteller. This is something I should have had by the end of chapter 1, and somehow I missed it, which means I probably missed a perception check. I think I know where it's at. So let's just take out the team, see what they have to do. Hello? Did we scare the bad guy away? Oh, it's just a wild boar. Really? Dora, you can kill this thing. Here, go ahead and buff yourself up, bro. And again, just as a quick reminder of how awesome he is now with his freaking awesome armor. As long as he's not flat-footed, baby. And does it say in here his initiative? No, but it should say it under Marshall, right? 13. Lightning Draw Index. Sorry about that, had a sneeze. And that lightning draw is amazing, and it is because of that I get a plus 13 to my initiative. And again, remember, that's not even with me having improved initiative. That's a feat you can get that's just like a plus 4, I think, which most teammates grab. I'm at plus 13, so again, they're not catching up to me really anytime soon unless they have some other kind of kick-ass trick.
This spell works differently.
Come over here and do the stabby, pokey.
This will hurt!
Oh, he's like the tiniest foot away from him. Let's take a look at that attack on me. 35 armor. I got my nice bracers of armor class plus 8, my arcane protector in my offhand, candy defense. I even have a ring of protection, dex bonus, and of course our base 10 that everybody gets. Now I can have more dex with better gear. I can have a ring of protection or something similar that's a plus 5 to deflection, so this can go up a lot more. And I can get a lot of other stuff in the game that has dodge associated with it. So again, there's all kinds of ways to bump my character beyond the 35. So I'm pretty happy with it right now. Eliza, you charge. No. Just beam them. There we go. Proto, delay your turn past Doggo so Doggo can get over here and flank this fool. Boom. Oh, I'm almost dead. Nice work, Doggo.
Out of my way!
Boom, sneak attack. Alright. Now, bounce out of here just because we're done here. And we'll just continue on with our merry. Move a little more. If something pops up on the map, you know, like another territory we haven't seen, we probably investigate it too. But we want to stay in our territory because remember, we have a deadline here at the end of the month. Someone's going to have a check, which, by the way, feel free to save. Continue. Save just before the 24th hour would be the best way for me to do stuff, in my opinion. So here you go, 22, 23, hit it. Continue on. If it fires up, then you know it's time to scum save if it failed. But here we are.
Time to get some rest, isn't it?
I know, buddy. It's a tired, tired world. Now, we could scan the area, simply just run around.
What I must.
If you go online, people will tell you, oh hell, it was here and I didn't even pick it up. I'm an idiot. About to say, it's rare that I miss a perception check, especially when I know there's something like this in the area. I just didn't click it. That's the Restovic Sorcerer's Discharge Staff. That's the broken staff I was talking about. Now that's all 5 of those items. We'll go back to the storyteller after we grab the other 4 out of the kit, out of the treasure chest we have back in our base. And we'll get a nice story and a decent XP jump. And again, you should have had that at the end of chapter 1. So I've been way behind going back to pick this damn thing up.
May we have a moment of respite?
Everybody's tired, I know, guys. Let's actually swing over here to our village. We can do a quick rest inside there. It'll burn like 8 hours and we won't take anything to do it. We can do a quick save. And we can even check on our people here. But I don't think anyone's in here because this is Bakken's territory, right? Yeah, this is Bakken's. So there shouldn't be any other artisans here.
Time to
So let's
search
do
for the
quick
spot
save.
to rest.
Press R. And you're in your own territory, so it's just like you're at Oleg's or at your capital. You just rest. 8 hours is burnt up. Doesn't cost anything, and everybody's back in full swing. Really, really nice way to save on some time. You don't have to hunt. You don't have to worry. So again, when you find these places like this, kind of space them out so that when you are exploring, you have a, oh, I can just stop here and rest. Poof. So there's that. All the way back to Dorville. Again, watch your clock. 29th is going to be when the check shows up. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. We can probably get back to base, but I'm not sure we're going to get there in time. Here we go, and let's just do it now. Let's ask for the sweet teeth, and again, I can do this, but again, we're still fine. We'll enter Dorville and actually go straight to the throne room to find out what's what. It's probably Valerie and Jubilast, or is it Reg? Reg and Valerie. Either way, I have to put one of them on something immediately. That's why we want to stay in our area for this. Right, so here we go. Now, let's see, what do we have going for us here? Success. +3 military. The locals are terrified. It's a problem we're solving. Monster sightings. The locals are terrified. Their lands have become a beacon for all varieties of monsters. There have been multiple owlbear and wyvern sightings in the air. Remember, the guys have been exploding and turning into owlbears. This is part of this mess. Our scouts confirmed the presence of monsters, and local militias successfully eliminated the threat. Military +3. And again, military is doing pretty good. Not as good as loyalty, and certainly not as good as economy. But I've been pushing economy because I want to make sure that that stays high. And I really need to rank that bad boy up. Let's do that, though. Success for the project, which is just complete. Paying attention, heeding the point of the week. Paying attention to the community and heeding every call of distress. The Regent resolves problems with a +1 bonus. That's to her benefit. Now notice we have this, the Howling Wolves. And again, either can do it. She does it at a 61. He does it at an 85. The question is, because this takes 10 days to do it, it'll burn up the next month before I accept that. Was I going to rank him up? I can rank her up. She's currently at level 2. And she'll go to 3. I can rank up Jubilas when he gets done with his quest. Or Jod, who definitely needs it. Tristan can be the next rank up and take him straight to 4. But there's no need to. He's already unlocked his cultured guy. I mean, yes, I want to get him to 4. I want to get them all to 10. I think 10 is the highest for all these. Maybe it's 20. But I think it's 10. So there's plenty to do here. But the point is if I'm not leveling up her, then I can't level up anyone other than Tristan. And again, that's fine. but there's no region to claim unless that happens at like the top of the month. There's no training that I care about. This is castle skills in general. He's not our general. Reg is. And he's doing great at a plus 11. Why would I mess with that? I could put Reg on something over here, I suppose. Jubilos can do that. We're not pillaging anything. Rebuild the temple. That's a Jihad quest. Trade agreement with Pitax. We don't have the money for it. The BP. Restoration. That could be a Reg thing. And I have enough BP for it. But again, that will take 30 days. It would be okay, because chances of something happening where he is needed, how do I say this? Chances are that something happened that he is needed at the last 2 days of this month, where only he can solve it, are probably nil, right? Then I put him on this, and I put Valerie on the other one that she can do instead of him, and we'll be fine. He'll be done with this in 30 days, which will be the 29th of the next month, or the 28th, something like that. So we still have time next month to use him once and once only to do something, if that is something of importance to you. This gives us more military stability, solid choices. Military needs some help. Stability is lounging, and we don't have anyone for this post yet. Matter of fact, who does that? That's military upgrade. We're actually probably waiting for him to tell us, hey, hire a stability guy. Kind of surprised that we haven't yet, quite frankly. Maybe he does need, remember we got lucky, and at level 3 we got Tristan coming to us and say, hey, hire a curator, which was the culture guy. Maybe he needs to be at 4 to give us his stability guy. And that's fine. So again, we would need to level him up. And that's what this is, right? Not economy, not divine, not loyalty. Her. So he's not even available for level up to 4 right now. And maybe that's what we're missing. Maybe this needs to get to 60. And then maybe this is not as necessary to 4 so much as this getting to 60 is. Again, I don't know. Look up online. That'll tell you that stuff. So, again, the question is really, the short version here is this. Which do I put in here? The person that has an okay chance of doing it, or the person that has a solid, he's probably going to pass it. It is a problem. I want it solved. Howling wolves. Wolves are breeding at a surprising rate. Local forests are all full of ravenous beasts. There's not enough quarry to feed them all. The starving wolves howl at night to gather into packs and attack the villages. I'm happy to have him do it. He'll probably kick its ass, and we'll get a nice bonus to military. If I do it to her, we get a bonus to community, which could use it, but she still has a rank up waiting for her, so she doesn't really need it yet. But again, like I said, his military increase puts this 3 higher. That puts it at 61. Maybe that means he'll give us the, hey, you should hire somebody thing. So again, stuff to think about, right? So I'm going to do this one. 85% chance. Boom. Now, quick save that mess. We have a couple days. We're actually going to be doing stuff here in the kingdom real quick. Remember, at the beginning of the month, I want to do my 14 days if at all possible. It's better to do it now than try to be back on the 15th and hope that you can cover everything. This way, if something shows up on the 1st or the 2nd, I can put people in places where they need to be, and then we can go for there for, can I work on a curse? Can I work on a rank up? Can I work on training? So I have, this person will be up in 2 days. So that'll be the 30th, either the 1st or the 31st of this month. I don't know how many days in this month yet. Probably it's only 30 is my guess, but I don't know that. So the 1st of the month, the storyteller should be rated rock and roll. But I don't think he has an upgrade waiting for him yet. We need 1 more culture point for him to pop back out, right? So I'm going to keep Val in reserve. Remember, there's nothing I want to put her on anyway, really, except for rank up, which is this one here for community. And I don't know that I want to do that just yet. So how do we handle this? Well, again, everyone's tired, so we should probably rest. Was there any quest that needed to be, talk to this person kind of thing? Oh yeah, the Sweet Teeth just came back, right? So let's actually go do that first, because we'll just send them out on another road trip. Oh, and we can do our little quest thing here with the storyteller. Now remember, we just grabbed the Rostovic Sorcerer's Discharge. There it is. So we want the Rostovic items. There's one, here's another one, here's another one, and here's another one. Okay. So now, just to put stuff away, so I have an obvious dead zone here. Yeah, I'm taking all those. Did I find anything else that I can put away? I don't think so. Okay, good. Like I said, this should have been something that should have been available to you, if I wasn't a doofus, at the start of this, where the storyteller's right there. I could have handed this in. This is how much XP he would have handed you. Watch this. Are any worthy of a story? Gold coins. This is strange, blah, blah, blah. Tell me this about the drowned trees. Now, this is your story. 4,000 gold and 600 XP he could have just handed to you and your team. Just poof, here you go, buddy. I hear rowlocks creaking, river water splashing, bushes rustling, and arrows singing through the air. I feel an invincible will, a cold resolution to finish what's been started, no matter the cost. My chain armor clings to my body, and my young hands grip a sword tightly. I am the leader of a group of brave souls set off to the Stone Lands to clear them from bandits once and for all. We lost the Restavik Ranger's broken arrow, the Inquisitor's broken crossbow, the Paladin's crumpled helmet, the Sword Lord's empty sheath, and the Sorcerer's discharged staff. That was the last piece that was missing. We sail on a large freight boat. It serves as bait for the bandits who keep throwing themselves at it, only to find death, a death as inglorious as the life they've lived. From time to time, we manage to capture a prisoner. While our Inquisitor talks to them, I go to the stern, shutting my ears to their cries. I remind myself that these are scum, drenched in blood to the elbow. I think upon our cause, freedom from my homeland, and independent Rosalind. But still my goosebumps rise with each pitiful cry. I must steel myself and be strong. Who's in your group? A paladin, a ranger, a sorceress, a priest, an inquisitor, and me, a fighter. All experienced combatants. Over and over we've saved each other's lives in times of need. And quite frankly, this would be a pretty solid team. I know this is a sidebar, but check this out. A solid fighter. So you got someone that's up front, good armor, beating ass. Same with the paladin, and you have some clerical type abilities, heals and whatnot. You got a ranger that's, again, heals slash pets slash arrows probably. Sorceress, so you definitely have some arcana on your team. And a solid priest and an inquisitor. You got like 4 people here that can probably heal. Just saying. It's a solid team. The inquisitor has pets maybe like I have. Maybe they're just a straight inquisitor, so they have all kinds of judgments, so they can buff themselves all kinds of ways. Priest for the nice clerical abilities, remove curse, delay poison, all that jazz. Solid team here in my opinion. Why do you question the prisoners? The bandits attacking our boat are small fry. We're looking for their main lair, a place known as the Drowned Trees. We seek the leader of the bandits, an underwater monster named Darget Droon, and we will not leave without his head. Have there always been so many bandits in the Stolen Lands? This land swarms with them, and we meet them more often than common merchants. You see, we started rumor that the Eldori Sword Lords are using this boat to sneak treasures out of the country. Now half the gangs in the area are hunting us. Please continue. At night, it seems a whole army is attacking our boat. Far too many for us to fend off, but luckily we don't have to. While they battle monsters we've summoned in a pitch-black magical darkness, we drink the potions we've prepared and dive under the water. The scum break into the hold, but instead of treasure, they find their final surprise, the work of a Restavik alchemist, a trap. A dozen barrels of highly explosive oils. We watch from a safe distance as the boat is blown to pieces in a deafening explosion. Everything has gone according to plan. The more who die here, the fewer will meet in the Drowned Trees. By the way, as another little side note, remember that kick-ass necklace fragment that we had restored by him? The guy died on a boat that he was attacking, right? So he was probably one of the bandits. And we blew his necklace to Kingdom Come, and that's the fragments that I pieced together to make that necklace of double crosses, I think is what it's called. We march through the forest, then camp to regain our strength. Their nest is close. Our Inquisitor discovered everything, even the location of the secret entrance. Today we rest, tomorrow the Bandit King will draw his final breath. Even if you sneak into the bandits' camp unseen, how will you handle all of them? Each of us is worth 24 in battle. Besides, we are well prepared. Chaos, confusion, and summoned monsters will be on our side. That's a good battle tactic right there. And fire. A lot of fire. What kind of a secret entrance? An underwater path, winding along the swamp bottom. We had potions to breathe freely underwater. We couldn't see beyond our outstretched arms in the muddy water, and there were plenty of traps along the way, but the Inquisitor learned all the signs that marked the safe passage. At least we believe she did. Uh-oh. Please continue. We trudged through muddy waters. Suddenly a giant log studded with blades falls from above. I managed to stagger back, but the paladin who walked alongside me is now a gory sight spread thin across the ground. The next moment, a monstrous creature emerges from the darkness, a twisted cross between fish and monkey. Its clawed hand reaches out, effortlessly melting away the Inquisitor's flesh, then ripping out her heart. This is the king of the bandits, Darget Droon, The bandit we captured did not lie, but the secret passage he spoke of led right into the underwater lair of his master. I buried my terror deep in my soul. There was no time for weakness. There were only 4 of us left, and we were gasping for air by the time the freak's lifeblood stains the water. We leave the beheaded body on dry land, then retreat and recover. Only now I allow my hands to tremble, my breath to race unbidden, my tears to flow. What kind of monster was this Dargadrun? They say he was once a normal human, but he offended a powerful fae. She cursed him, turning him into a monster, but one bestowed with the ability to breathe underwater and melt human flesh with his touch. With these powers, he became the Bandit King. Did you find anything useful in Darget's lair? Oh yes, the Bandit King was a true collector of magical items. We lost 2 of our friends, but what we found there would help us finish what we started. So the bandit wanted to set you up, but he played right into your hands? You could say so. Dargadrun didn't expect an armed party to appear there before him, but we too were unprepared for the encounter. The bandit's lie cost both sides dearly. Please continue. The next night we returned the same way. We swim up to the surface and quietly gather our bearings. Above us loomed the drowned trees, enormous dead trunks emerging from the water, bridges crisscrossing their branches. The air is filled with the sounds of battle. Having lost their king, the bandits now battle each other for power, and we are ready to join the fight. We leave at dawn. Behind us, smoke rises up to the sky. The bandit nest smolders and blazes. Only 2 of us remain, the priest and I. We've won this victory. We won, but this victory tastes of ash, cinders, and swamp ooze. I ask him, tell me, Esvanki, was it worth it? We actually know this guy. He puts his hand on my shoulder and says, yes, Jamandi. Now the stolen lands will be ours. I wish I believed him. This is the story of Jamandi Eldori, the sword lady that hired us at the beginning of this whole damn game. And Esvanki was her assistant. Remember the governor or whatever of the town? Mayor. I think he's the mayor now. The storyteller heaves a sigh, runs his hand over his face, and rubs his temples. Thus the expedition to the drowned trees came to an end. I must admit, it was no easy feeling for me to stand in the place of this daring woman. The steel of her soul was colder than ice. Wait, is this the story of Jamandi Eldori? But she's still alive. Some people become legends in their own lifetime. Jamandi has performed many glorious feats, and there may yet be more ahead. If Jamandi has once cleared the stolen lands of bandits, why must we do it all over again? The death of Dargadrun and destruction of drowned trees weakened the bandits, but not for long. The paladin who died was a noble. It was he who was supposed to claim the stolen lands and send in his troops, while Jamandi sought another candidate or a priest capable of performing a resurrection ritual. A new bandit leader emerged in the destroyed fortress on the banks of the Tuskwater. Within the year, the stolen lands were swarming with gangs once more. Now, I just want to point out something here. Remember, we had him pick up all our stuff. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Oh, it doesn't show it to us again. Damn it. I was looking for the things that he collected from us, from our pack, because they had specific titles. Remember, specific names associated with them. Again, like the discharge staff. I wanted to see if we could kind of piece together more of the story about what had happened. But it's okay. It's a solid thing. Maybe it's up in here, though. Just do a quick check, because I am curious, guys. Yeah, here we go. Ranger's broken arrow. Inquisitor's broken crossbow. They all died. Paladin's crumpled helmet, the one that got hit by the log. Swordlord's empty sheath shows she left her sheath behind. And Rostovic Sorcerer's discharged staff. Well, we're missing someone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought one of them was a priest. But this is the right number of people. Maybe the priest was the Inquisitor? Or the priest was someone that was sitting back home. Who knows? Anyway, that was a pretty kick-ass story. And again, we got ourselves a little XP for that. Anyone else get anything useful out of that? Sadly, no. Alright, no problem there. I'll do a quick save so we don't have to repeat that again. Not that it wasn't epic. But let's go talk to the Sweet Teeth now. Main square. And let's actually, after going to the Sweet Teeth, let's make sure to go to the bar, the tavern. Go upstairs and see if I can pick that lock again. I'm level 15 now, baby, and I got me the Crap Springer's gloves. I bet you I can scum save that in 3. That'll be awesome. And then you'll see the hand of Magish Dan. Again, if you have a Scroll Savant on the team, an amazing toon in my opinion, giving her or him that gift alone will make you so damn happy. You have no idea. Alright, Sweet Teeth, what you got for me? Your Grace, we found another way to the Talon Peak. Now we'll definitely be accepted into the Pathfinder Society. 540 XP. This new road, though, it might not be any more convenient than the one through Varnhold. Probably even less so. But anyone who really wants to can definitely get through it here. Look. The Tieflings unfold a scroll map in front of me. First here, then down to the cave, then crawl up here, and then dive into this underground lake. And then you come out of here. Yes, it does seem like you're going the wrong way, but if you climb this rock, throw a rope over this tree, you can use it to get to the other side, avoiding all the lava down there. And then it's only about 40 miles to Talon Peak. Thanks. That's probably the way the ancient Cyclops went. Look, we even found some coins here. Take these 5. That's money for us. Let's see if we can complete my task. Take some measurements of Lake Silverstep. I wish to know the exact length of its shoreline. Did you hear that? We have an important task surveying the lake shore. Don't forget your towels. And fishing rods. Don't forget your fishing rods. What are you thinking, you goof-offs? The most important thing is to take a lot of rope so we have something to measure with. Grabbing their travel bags, the young tieflings run away. Peace out. I like those little guys that crack me up. Alright, to the tavern. That should be this here, right? Yeah. To the tavern. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Alright, upstairs, right? Let's do a quick save so I don't have to worry about messing this up. Okay, is it in here? Or is it the next one over? Uh-huh. We tried and failed, I think. Yeah. Alright, here's our guy.
Ha! A trivial
That's
task.
it. The Hand of Magus Dan, a severed magical hand. This mummified hand continually scribes the words spoken by its owner in unknown languages using minuscule and almost illegible cursive. When the wearer uses a scroll, either to scribe it into a spellbook or to cast a spell, the hand has a 25% chance to produce a perfect copy of the expended scroll. Boom. Take that shit. And love it. Now, if I may feel subpar, simply because I don't have a lot of castings in a day, I don't feel so bad now because I can do stuff like, let's grab a fireball spell and let's say a haste spell. Those staples, solid spell choices. And if I cast either of those from there in combat while this toggle is on, which you would always leave on in my opinion, but I keep it down here in my tray because I want to make sure I don't forget that I have it. And it may get shut off like the cat does, so keep an eye on that. But if it always stays on, just take it out of your tray like that. Okay? But otherwise, you always leave that thing on. And anytime you cast from a scroll, it casts a spell, you may still see the scroll still sitting in your belt. And you'd be like, what the hell? And, actually, let's exit out of here. Are we exiting? No, we're not. We are going to the throne again. Also, this works for any scroll. So just because I'm an arcane caster doesn't mean I can't use other scrolls, like cleric scrolls, to heal myself, right? If I have a high enough use magic device, let's say I'm damaged and I want to start healing myself. Where's my scrolls? These ones right here. If you do this and say use, you may see that you got healed, but the 13 stays 13. What just happened? I have that on, and it worked. So this will save you from burning through your scrolls really, really fast too. And again, why I say a scroll savant is ideal person to hand this to is why is a scroll savant, much like Jubilos with his potion enhance ability, whereas the potions behave like his caster level. The scroll savant at level 10 and higher can cast any scroll, and the scroll behaves like her or his caster level. So this shield spell, which is usually a garbage scroll to keep on you, I mean, it's a nice one and done kind of use thing, right? You wouldn't use this thing in a dungeon per se. It'd be more for a I got jumped encounter. Why? Because it's only going to last you one goddamn minute. Not for the scroll savant at level 10 and higher. That's 10 levels, so that's 10 minutes. If it's a spell, and this is the fun part, if it's a spell that gets a bonus, let's see if I can find you one, Shield of Fate, that gets a bonus based on caster level, much like the potion for Jubilos. Here's his potion, the same exact thing, right? it's a caster level 1 for anyone else. For Jubilos, it's level 9 because he has that enhanced potion feature, right? Well, what does this do at level 9? It's +2 deflection for everybody else for 1 minute only. Jubilos gets it for 9 minutes, and it's +2, +1 for every 6 levels. So at level 9, he's getting another +1 to it. So it's at +3 for him and anyone he makes drink from his hand. The same applies now for the scrolls for a scroll savant. So you take something like Shield of Faith, and at level 10, she'll cast it as level 10, so she'll get it for 10 minutes, and she'll get it as a +3. She can cast that on her, anyone else. She can do the same for healing spells, even though she's a wizard, which is what a scroll savant is. She has enough use magic device, which of course you'd pump through the roof, in my opinion, so that she could literally cast any scroll. So all the scrolls, in my opinion, would basically go to her. All the potions would go to someone like Jubilos or another alchemist, vivisectionist, grenadier, whatever that you put on your team. And maybe you hire a merc, or you're the main character as a grenadier. They're very fun. And again, you got potions, she has scrolls. The team is damn near complete, and you'll stockpile this stuff. You'd be surprised how often you go into a dungeon and say, let's just buff everybody up with, sure, Shield of Faith for everybody for the next 10 minutes. Poof, poof, poof. Everybody has massive armor. Give everybody delay poison. Not the delay poison communal, the actual delay poison. Why? Because the scroll savant can cast from this thing, and while she may cast it on the team of 6, she won't use all 6 of them because she has Magus Dan kicked in, and it's gonna, use maybe 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3 or 4 of them, but still not all 6 of them. She'll roll luckily enough, and you can scum save that. I don't, but you could, I suppose. Save. Try to use the scroll. Did it go from 7 to 6? Yes. Well, then go back to the original save. Try again. Did it use the 7? No. Did you get the bonus still? Yes. Okay, save again. You could do that and literally have nothing more than 1 delay poison, 1 shield of faith, 1 mage armor, 1 protection from each of the different resist from each of the elemental types, 1 detect traps. You could have 1. I'm trying to think of other stuff that you'd buff with. Oh, like freedom of movement, 1 haste spell, and again, if you scum save it, you could literally pre-buff everybody with all those things, so you're just running in like glowing like a Christmas tree, magically speaking, and just crush stuff. And then if you want to get freakier than that, if you wanted a real triumvirate team, so you have your alchemist as 1, you have your scroll savant as another, so that covers guy that can technically heal and a woman that can magic the shit out of stuff, potions and scrolls besides. Then get yourself a sword saint or another type of magus, a magus, doesn't matter. Make sure they get wand wielder and wand mastery, and now you can use wands to their full potential. You don't get to treat it like your caster level. That's a sad fact of that. So the caster level is still innate, but notice that the DC is almost always garbage on these things. Why? Because the DC is based on the level of the spell. So 10 is base, the level of the spell 2. So 10 and 2 is 12. Where's the 13? Where the other point come from? How much intelligence do you need to be able to cast this spell? You'd need an intelligence of at least 12, right? That's a +1 bonus. So 10 plus 2 plus the 1 bonus minimum is 13. That's why you're seeing that 13. Well, wand wielder can cast it in combat. Wand mastery can take your intelligence modifier or charisma if you're the Eldritch Scion, I suppose, and you use that modifier now in place of this crappy +1. So let's say Jubilos was the magus doing this. Instead of it being a 13 and he was a wand master, that would go up another 4 points, so it'd be a DC of 17. See how cool that is? So again, with 3 people specifically built around the gear, potion person, scroll person, wand person, all your consumables are freaking epic. And I would not make an alchemist. I would really make a grenadier. I would either have it as my main or have it as a merc, because the grenadier gets to not only do stuff that they do, but then some. They also get to do something that's even cooler, and that's like I told you before, where they use the, I don't have them, I put them in there, kitty, the alchemist flask and the alchemist fire and the acid flask. They can use them to charge it on their weapons, so it gives you a use for those 2 items as well, besides using them as straight up bombs. So again, you're covering a lot of your utility there. Just saying, it's a little weird to think about, but it's still definitely cool. Let's take a look at everybody. Is everybody rested? I think I rested. Well, I got to level up for a couple of the gals. Might as well just do them. I do the low pre-made. They just don't care about them. Okay. Quick save that again. Now we want to burn up the clock to free up this guy. So basically turn up 2 days. Now again, we can explore some, but in 2 days you're not really going to find much. You have to like get there and get back. We need to be in the throne room. So when it's stuff like this, when I'm just trying to beat the clock, to be here for it, if I can come back on the 29th like this, I'll happily skip a day and skip another day. And it is 31 days in this month. Awesome. And he was a triumphant bastard, so he got a nice culture bonus. Problem: unknown troublemakers are spurring the people to rebel against their ruler. Grumblings of popular discontent can be heard in the capital. Advisors should either answer to the rabble-rousers or nip the rebellion in the bud. Since he's the storyteller curator, he probably was nice. A few celebrations and a fair, and the happy people soon forget their troubles and instigators' words. Culture plus tree. Very nice job, sir. Okay, we're definitely saving that. Curator needs my help. Let's go with the throne room and find out what this is. Hey. Storyteller, my respects, your grace. The storyteller bows. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's an important issue concerning my responsibilities. As a curator, I could not help but notice that the level of education in your barony is abysmal. Many citizens don't know how to read, and they send their children out not to study, but to work from dawn to dusk. We must break this vicious circle. Make the first step. Order the opening of village schools, or at least contact the priests who are educated enough to teach their congregation reading, writing, and natural science. Of course, this will require no little investment, but the result will justify any expense. Forget about schools. I want money. No. Choice, obviously the one that'll make him happy. +2 to loyalty, -100 BP, and we get to build a school for free, which probably costs like 50, 75 BP anyway. So, we will open schools. I don't want my lands to be inhabited by uneducated bumpkins. Way to insult bumpkins everywhere, buddy. A wise decision, your grace. And now we can support the curator's endeavors. That's his rank up. Yay. Now, back to here. Again, it's the end of the month. +1 to culture. Very nice. And here's his rank up. Right? So now, since it's the end of the month and clearly nothing is going to show up before the 1st, because we're already on the last possible day, we can skip ahead 14 days. So now the question is which one are we going to do? There's no region upgrades. I can put people on curses, but the only person that can do it right now is Ja'ad, and he's busy. And until we really get the Magistar, the arcane person, in, and to get them we need to get Divine up. That's this guy here, which again is Ja'ad. So we really need to start ranking him up to level 3 ASAP. Trying to think here. Rank up. We're going to highlight the person. Culture's a good one. He's busy. He's busy. He's not, but we don't need him to be level 4. We don't even have economy to 3 yet, so I'm going to pass on Tristan. We can do Val. She's 2, and she's community, and she gives us somebody for community. The relations person. That gives us another person. So I'm going to do Val. That came out sounding wrong. We're going to support Val's endeavors. Okay? So that's going to be the person we want here. And matter of fact, I want to take him off just so it doesn't look like he's busy. Now, having said that, is there anything I can put him on, like training-wise? I don't care about the training of that guy that we said. Can't put him on curses. Nothing there. We could do economy things maybe with him, but I kind of doubt it. So again, we're probably done with being able to use him. So, quick save. Val, here we go. Hold on to your butts. Just as a quick heads up, again, we have 3 different things happening here. So this could be wonderful or it could be tragic beyond measure, which is why we do the quick save and then start. Notice this will end us on the 13th day, probably. Oh, 14th. Yeah, we burn 14 days. Perfect. Community's rank 3. And again, we're only getting 2 BB because, again, economy sucks. Disaster. Well, we're going to have to redo that one. Disaster. Success. Okay, so F8. And these ones we're scum saving until we get it. Just so we're clear. And since the video is actually at that time, let's actually cut it real quick and I'll be right back.